Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As I told you, I will now test one of the boards I repaired in the previous video. As you can see there, I have already connected the hard drive. The hard drive is here, 80 gigabytes, a generic power supply. She says it has 300 real watts, right? I've already tested it and it doesn't. It hits a little over 200. Here's the motherboard with a Duron processor. It's got 256 megabytes of RAM. And one sad detail, the setup doesn't save. The clock isn't saving. In both boards, I recovered two boards.
Both clocks are not working.
So what am I going to do? I'm going to create a batch file, a little trick. I'm going to come here, look, start. Note the following. I have already installed Windows. Why did I install Windows? Because it takes forever. I think it took almost 2 hours to install Windows XP. On this computer, it's a Duron 1000 megahertz with 256 megabytes of RAM. Right-click properties here. It's an Athlon. This one is the Athlon. The Duron is the other. It is configured with 1000 megahertz, so it's low. It is 1000. It's 1.3, right? 1300 megahertz. It's an Athlon 2700. So this motherboard will not recognize it correctly. Well, I don't know if there will be an updated BIOS, but that doesn't matter at the moment. I did not install Windows Service Pack 3. Note that the clock is reset. Another interesting thing is that I won't need to install the original drivers. You can see that I have the device manager here and it already installed with the Windows driver. So I have these drivers here. I will only need to use the original, which is the SiS video adapter from the manufacturer. And then it doesn't say it's Microsoft. Usually when it's Microsoft it does, but it's saying it's SiS. Here it does say it's Microsoft. Wow, I might need to install the original. Why? Because of the features. Advanced features. Maybe to access more advanced features of the GPU. Let's see. Here's the memory address. It also installed the sound or C7018 audio driver. So what happens? This driver was entirely installed by Windows. It says it's SiS. It says here that it is SYSP manufacturer, but it says the driver is from Microsoft. I don't know if Microsoft has the original driver or if it made a generic one. Probably original. Yes, here's the SYSP PCI. It also installed the IDE. USB. CI 7001. So it has already installed the resources. You see? As if I had used the SiS 730, which is the chipset of the GPU, which it says here is the control of the CPU bridging, right? Which manages the video, memory, some peripherals, the AGP. So, yeah, only the modem is missing, but he's without the modem. As you can see here, he has two PCI slots, two GP slots, and there is a CNR, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I can't see. Let me get the magnifying glass here, because there's the CNR and the AMNR. This one is the ANR, the CNR is a little bigger, a little bit bigger. Well, anyway, what are we going to do? I am going to do a test here. Note that I will test some games which possibly won't run. Let me configure the screen here. Right-click properties. And I'll increase the resolution because it's 640 by 480. Let me see if the monitor supports 800 by 600. Supported. Now I will see if it supports 1024 by 768. It supported it too. Cool. Nice little monitor. Little monitor bought at the recycling center. There were two LG monitors. The Evolve games are here. Let's see here. Yeah, the standard games that you already know. Look, I'm going to test the setup here. This one, what happens? What did I find interesting about this motherboard? So, for those of you who have an old computer, stay tuned. It works, you see. It recognizes a Sound Blaster 220 and IRQ5 and DMA1. Here it was only the music. It's back to 220. Sound Blaster, IRQ 220, IRQ5 and DMA1. I'll set it to 8 sound channels and let's see if it will recognize the sound. Because here I am inside Windows XP. Yeah? So not just any video card will work sound in MS-DOS. It didn't come in with that typical MIDI sound, right? Which then depends on a real sound card. This onboard card usually doesn't output this sound. Let's see if at least a sound effect will come out. There, it came out, but it doesn't have the little tune. See how the image turned out a bit poor?
Oh. That's because he's using the viral onboard.
It's playable, but it's worse than an old sock. Let me see if the image improves. Options. And there, it's already at maximum. I don't think it's, I didn't really like the graphics. We went. I have the motherboard here disconnected. I need to put a CD drive here to be able to install the original drivers. I didn't like it. Let's see if it gets better with the original driver. Let me check the next game here, Duke 3D. So, it's that thing, right? The quality it runs at is not always satisfactory. But here I think, out of obligation, it has to run well. Sony Brastia 2. Same situation, everything configured. We're all set up. Yeah. Oh, sound test, ahí está. Yeah, here's the sound. Still no sound. It recognized, it's compatible. The onboard sound of this motherboard is compatible with the Sound Blaster, so you can run it within Windows XP. The sound in MS-DOS. Passa, the music doesn't play, you see? That's because the video card doesn't have the MIDI capability, which is usually found in real cards. Some motherboards will have it. This one doesn't. It even works. Maybe there's even a conflict. I'll check it out to see if there's a conflict in the IRQ. The sound worked. Duke 3D, it seems like the image is better. I'm using the onboard video. This onboard video is not inside the processor. This processor is 32 bits only, so no point in trying to install Win. And another interesting detail, it will only run MS-DOS games with 32-bit Windows XP, okay? It won't run on 64. Oh, rather, yes, you won't install Windows XP 64-bit on this processor. I misspoke. This 32-bit processor doesn't install Windows XP 64, not any other version of Windows, up to Windows 7 if you install it here. The 32 will install, but will be very slow. And the 64, no. The same thing happens with Linux. With Linux you have to install. I have a version of NTX, 32 bits, to run on an old computer. I can make a video later on. Let me see here, look. Note that it doesn't have the little music sound. Let me see here at the beginning. Oh. Let's check the quality. Yeah, Duke Nukem is better. Duke Nukem is better, the graphics. I think that's it. I'm running Duke Nukem using the onboard video and sound of the motherboard. So put a DNS stuff here to have all the weapons. DNK Ross to be immortal, it's almost a shame, poor thing. Notice that the mouse is inverted, so you have to come here and change it to the way you want. So I prefer the mouse. Where's the mouse? I think it's here, I'm not sure. Yeah. Upwards. Yeah, then you pull up, you pull back. He points. I don't really like using the mouse, I prefer using a keyboard. And only use the mouse for shooting. Actually, I don't even use it for shooting, I leave the mouse still here and use the controls. So I guide with this little arrow here below and home and shoot with the keyboard. I don't like using the mouse, but you use it if you want, see? You make the movement here, guide with the arrow, and I think the mouse is still inverted. Look, wow, spine. Yeah, the mouse goes back, it lifts. Follow the little arrow and aim. I don't like it. I don't like it, especially because you don't even need to aim. It shoots. You just have to shoot in the direction of the character. It already fires. It already hits. Huh. It has all the weapons. Well, the one that ran smoothly. The picture, actually, is better than Doom.